Today I'm going to be making a video on how to change out the oil on a 2016 Honda CRV. This is a 2.4 liter, if I'm not mistaken. So first things first, drive the car up on a set of good ramps, put the car in park, set the emergency brake, which I just took it off. Make sure the emergency brake is set good and tight. And as an additionary measure of precaution, I'd recommend you chock the rear wheels. From there, want to make sure you have the right stuff. So what are you going to need for this job? Well, I believe this car takes 4.6 quarts of oil. So I got a 5-quart jug, which that should complete this job. This car calls for OW20. I recommend full synthetic. Also, you're going to need an oil filter. A lot of people hate on Fram. It's what was available. This car in particular takes a pH 7317 filter, but they also have different, higher quality filters you could get to, but just if you need a Fram filter in a pinch from Walmart, that's a number that you can use. Quick correction to the intro of this video. Oil filter strap wrench like this is not going to work in this application, not enough clearance for it to be used. So I'd recommend a set of oil filter pliers like this. This is like a channel lock style set of pliers for removing the filter. Of course, we're going to put the filter on by hand tight only. And then as for the socket, I had the socket size wrong. This car actually takes 17 millimeter, not a 5/8. Recommend a creeper, something to catch the oil in, and also a piece of cardboard in case any of the oil splashes. So now what we're going to do, we're going to slide underneath the car and look for this pan right here. Notice that it says engine oil, the little arrow pointing to this drain bolt. This is the drain bolt that we're going to need to remove. 17 millimeter socket. What we're going to do, crack this loose, set up our drain pan, make sure it's ready to catch the oil. Never quick enough. So what we need to do is loosen up this filter, crack this loose. After you feel it loosen up a little bit, try and give it a quick spin by hand and just let some of that oil drip out so you don't get oil covered in your hand. Notice how this hand is cleanish. So now it's time to reinstall the new filter. It's probably better to take some clean oil and lubricate this O-ring, but I'm just going to use some of this old oil. But you want to make sure that you lubricate the O-ring on this oil filter. So what you do, try and line it up in the same orientation that the old filter was. I like to twist it counterclockwise till I hear a click. And then from there, I'll spin it forward. Just make sure that it spins on smooth and nothing's misthreaded. Gotta tell you, some poor quality control on this filter. It's dinged up just a little bit right there, but functionally it should still be fine. And from here, I'm just gonna tighten this as much as I can by hand. I'm going to leave it like that. If you feel like you need to tighten it a little bit more, do not use these vice grip style clamps because these will dent the sides of the filter and you don't want to do that. If you do need to tighten it up a little bit more, I'd recommend probably leaving it, or if you have a small strap wrench that could fit in there or some type of oil filter socket cap that could fit over the top. But next thing I'm going to do is just wipe off any residual oil may have been left on the pan down here. If I worked in a professional shop, I'd probably spray this off with brake parts cleaner, but that stuff's just too expensive right now. And because I live in the Northeast, this is a little bit of rust corrosion prohibitor. So now that that's good, we're going to turn our attention back to where that oil is just dripping ever so slightly. We're going to take a quick look at our oil filter plug, make sure that the crush washer still looks okay. Sometimes there's a magnet on the end of these drain plugs, which I'm not seeing any shavings. I'm not even 100% sure there's a magnet on there. But I can go ahead and reinstall this drain bolt. Give it a little crank. No need to go crazy. Give it a wipe one more time. Make sure everything's all clean. All we need to do now is just remove oil pan and everything that we left underneath the car. And we are done from the underside of the car. Okay, now that we're back topside on the engine, we can go ahead and start installing the new oil. So first things first, make sure you have a good clean funnel. We're going to remove the oil fill cap, and they're pretty tight. Install the funnel. On most gasoline oil jugs, there's actually a clearish sight gauge along the handle side of the jug. There's actually measurements. So we're currently sitting about 1 quart left in this jug. So we're going to go to right below 0.5 quarts. Again, this is 5 quarts. Engine calls for 4.6 quarts, so we're going to leave about 0.4 quarts left in this jug. So what we're going to do now is we're going to check the dipstick for the first time. This is your oil dipstick right here. Get yourself a rag. Pull the dipstick up. Just wipe the end off real clean, and looking right now it looks like we're probably going to have to add a little bit more. So we're actually, it's going to be really hard to see that on camera, but it's actually in between the gauges, in between those 2 dots. Now that the car has been started once and the car is safely back on the ground, we're going to go ahead and check the oil level before we add any more, if we even need to add any more. So the oil level is technically in between the 2 lines there, but I'm going to add a little bit more. And the oil level is just below the top of that upper fill mark. This car in particular does have a tendency to burn a little bit of oil, so I'm happy with where that's at. Swipe off the engine cover a little bit. It's a little bit filthy, needs really a good cleaning, but final thing we need to do is reset the maintenance minder inside the car. So what you're going to do is use these controls right here to control the in-dash display screen. So what you're going to be looking for is vehicle information. Go to that menu, maintenance info, and then from here you're going to hit reset, which in this case is going to be the center button. It's going to ask you if you want to reset. Hit the down to confirm yes, and hit the center to confirm yes one more time. And now the vehicle maintenance info has been reset. As you can see, we have 100% oil life. Also, I would like to note I just did a brake job on this car and I rotated the tires, so I believe there's a tire rotation indicator in this menu as well. So the final little thing I like to do after an oil change is I like to print out 2 labels. One label has the oil information, in this case OW20 full synthetic, and the second one consists of when the next recommended oil change is, in this case 7,000 miles from now. I like to do this for 2 reasons. One, in case the engine is burning oil or is low on oil, that way the owner of the vehicle can easily identify what type of oil to purchase and install in their car in case there's a roadside emergency or something like that. And also, this is just a clear indication of when the next recommended oil change is due. That's it for this video. I hope this video information was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down in the comment section down below, and I will catch you on the next one.